Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel, where I'm always breaking down the hot sports topics of the day. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my 2013 NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament previews and predictions with my predictions for the East region. This is the last region that I'm predicting here. All the other three regions are up, so be sure to check those out. Guys, I'm just going to go through and predict every game of the region until I have a team from this region advancing to the Final Four. So let's get right to it. Indiana, the 1 seed, will play the winner of James Madison University and LIU Brooklyn. I like Indiana, obviously, to win that matchup. Going down a bracket here, the 8-9 game here is NC State versus Temple. NC State, a lot was expected of them early in the season. They were the pick to win the ACC. They've underwhelmed at times this season. I just think, though, they'll be able to, from a talent standpoint, sort of outduel Temple here, who comes from a good league. But I think, Temple doesn't have enough in the tank here to beat NC State in the first round. The 5-12 matchups in this region is UNLV and California. Two teams sort of headed in different directions. Cal sputtered late in the season and in their conference tournament. UNLV played well late in the season and very well in their conference tournament. Although they came up short from winning it, I still like UNLV here to advance to the round of 32. Over California. The 4-13 matchup in this region, Syracuse and Montana. Syracuse, they were struggling a little bit towards the end of the season, picked it up in the Big East tournament, got to the championship game, and lost to Louisville. I don't think this is a vintage Syracuse team that's going to make a deep run, but I certainly like them to beat Montana here in the first round. The next matchup in the first round, the 6-11 game, is Butler versus Bucknell. We all know Butler by now. Some people may be a little bit surprised. They got a 6 seed. Again, they come from a quality league. You look at VCU, Temple, St. Louis, all going to be a tough out. I like Butler to advance here from this game into the round of 32. The next game in this region, Marquette and Davidson. Marquette, a little bit of a surprise probably to some people that they snuck up to that 3 seed line. Who knows what contributed to that, whether it was a geography thing or it was fitting teams in different regions for other reasons. A lot of these things play a factor in the seeding now. But nonetheless, I expect Marquette to at least win their first round game here and advance as a 3 seed in this region. Next, the 7-10 game, Illinois, Colorado. Give me Colorado in this game. I wasn't overly impressed with Illinois the couple times I watched them this year. So give me Colorado to advance in this one. Down at the bottom of the bracket, you have the 2 seed Miami and Pacific, the 15 seed. When's the last time a team that won the ACC regular season and the ACC tournament didn't get a 1 seed? That's the situation you find Miami in here. Look for them to come out with an edge to them and win this first round matchup. We're now in the round of 32 in the East region. At the top of the bracket here, Indiana and NC State. Indiana is just going to overwhelm NC State. It's sort of a thing where, NC State is sort of Indiana light. Indiana does a lot of the things NC State likes to do, but just does them on a lot higher level. So give me Indiana to advance to the Sweet 16 here. Next one, UNLV, Syracuse. Again, I don't think this is a vintage Syracuse team. I don't think that zone scares people as much as it used to. I think UNLV is going to sneak up on Syracuse here, a team they're maybe not as familiar with 1 day to prepare. Give me UNLV to advance to the Sweet 16 against the Indiana Hoosiers. Butler and Marquette. Interesting matchup because these two teams are very evenly matched in my mind. I love Brad Stevens, obviously, in any kind of coaching duel against pretty much any coach in this whole bracket outside of maybe 2 or 3 coaches. Marquette, again, I think they're more closer to a 4 or 5 seed than a 3 seed myself. I think Butler might be a better team than Marquette, and I like Butler to beat Marquette here and advance to the Sweet 16. Colorado and Miami, I think Miami's going to have no trouble here in the first weekend. I think they blow past Colorado to set up a Miami-Butler regional semifinal. In that regional semifinal between Miami and Butler, it'll be interesting that Jim Larinaga, former coach of George Mason, will now be coaching against giant killer Butler. Sort of a reversal of roles here. I think Miami's too experienced and too talented in the guard positions to let Butler sneak up on them or dictate tempo to them. So I like Miami to win their Sweet 16 matchup with Butler and advance to the Elite Eight. Next, Indiana and UNLV. Indiana has, I think, in my mind, was the most talented team throughout this whole season. They have the most ways to beat you. I just think that they're way more talented than UNLV and will sort of overwhelm them and advance to the Elite Eight. So I have Indiana and Miami squaring off in the Elite Eight. I think this is the best Elite Eight matchup that I have taking place here. Would I be surprised if Miami won? Absolutely not. I just think when it comes down to it, Indiana, in my mind, has been one of the best teams all year. I see no reason why they shouldn't be able to score points against Miami. I know people are going to throw Miami's experience at me, but I think Indiana can match Shane Larkin in the backcourt, and I think that's usually a big reason why Miami wins these games against very good teams, is that Shane Larkin sort of takes over. But I think Indiana has the bodies to throw at Larkin to sort of wear him down, and that Indiana has the scoring power to put up between 75 and 85 points on the Hurricanes and beat them here in the regional final. So we're going to have Indiana advancing to the Final Four here out of the East region. That completes my previews here. My Final Four is set. Be sure to check out my other previews for all the other regions. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. I'm talking sports on here constantly, pretty much all day, every day, previewing games, covering the news of the day. Most of the time, I'm covering the different news that's breaking in the world of sports. So be sure to check it out. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy the NCAA tournament and have a great night.